Hello. So here I'm going to show you how to use OpenRefine, or how it was called, Google Refine, to do a few simple things. So you're looking at my blog post, and let's say you're interested to play with all the data of HateBase, especially the vocabulary. So you have the list of URLs in that blog post, and here I've prepared a URL to get all the vocabulary that is part of HateBase. So I've just copy-pasted in my browser to confirm that it was indeed a URL that was working. So I copy-paste this link, and then after installing OpenRefine, Google Refine, so I go here in the page of Google Refine, and I click on Create Project. And under Click Project, there's web addresses. So I copy-paste my link here, then I click Next. So it's going to load directly all HateBase vocabulary on my computer in the software. So here I tell Google Refine that this is a JSON file. So I click on JSON. And then when you select the JSON file, you have to select the data point. So what is the real data? So here it's all the block that is here. So I click like this. And now we have a preview of my data. So I'm just going to give it a project name, vocabulary for HateBase. Then I click Create Project. And now what you see is an interface that pretty much looks like Excel, that allows you in your browser to play with the data. So what you see here is just a group, a preview of 10 records that is part of the data, but you can show as well 50 records on the same page, which allows you to see more of them, and you can switch page here. So one thing we can notice is the column name is not very useful. So what we can do, we can click here, edit column, rename, and then we can just remove the anonymous part, vocabulary, and here the column will be called vocabulary instead. There you go. And here we're gonna do the same, rename for the meaning of the vocabulary that is present on HateBase. Okay, so something else, so a few things we can do. So here on the right here we have a list of languages. So the language that belongs to this, the vocabulary belongs to. So language, let's say I want to sort so that all the languages are together. So I can click on the column, click sort, and then I click OK. And now all the data is ordered by alphabetical order of language name. And here I can, so if it's fine with me, so here on the left we see all the vocabulary. But then there's something else I can do to at least get a better sense of what words are in every language. I'll just remove the sort. I click here. So instead of a sort, what I can do is something called a facet. So I click on facet, text facet. Now what I get on the left is the list of all the languages that is part of my data. So I can decide to either sort by name or sort by count. So the most popular language is English, then Spanish, then German, Italian, and a few of them like that. So let's say I only want to see the ones in French. I can click on FRA, and here we only have the vocabulary that is part of French, and then I can just switch to Arabic or something like that. So that's a way you can really dig down into the data much more easily. So you can remove the language. So one thing is, so you have all these columns with the 0 and 1 values. So if I click here I'll see what's really in that data. So about gender. So here when the number is 1, it would mean that the word is about, it's a gender related hate speech term. and then if it's 0, it means it's not gender related. So let's say I really want to only see terms that are gender related. I click on About Gender, and I can create a filter. So the filter will force Google Refine to only show me the terms that are about gender. So I click Text Filter, and then I click 1. I press 1. So now I press Enter. It's only Google data that is related to gender. So it's another good way to filter down on your data. So all this is very nice. So there's a lot of things you can sort, you can change column name, you can move data around. You can really do a lot of things. You can either also decide to change data on depending on what your needs are. Something else, so you might be more used to using Excel instead of this interface. So the great thing about that is here we can click on Export, and you can actually export to Excel, which will download an Excel file on your computer. You could also export as a comma and tab separated values, or CSV file, and then by having a CSV file you can really import this data easily in any other kind of software. So I hope this was useful, and I hope you get a chance to play with our data. Thank you.